Boom. I'm leading the show. Boom. Perfect.
Okay, so boom.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the things that are trending now, I could be wrong, but I think that it's becoming more and more unpopular to be quote unquote religious. Like if like you say, you know, you're Christian, you're a Muslim, like it's unacceptable to be like outwardly bashing like certain things nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like we have certain movements for certain people, but like you could still say pretty bigoted things about somebody's faith. For some odd reason, it just doesn't have the same appeal, doesn't have the same bandwagon
As it once did.
Yeah, right. So with that being said, I feel like now there's a lot of kids, young people are leaving church.
Yeah, big facts. I mean, in swarms too. I mean, lots of people are leaving organized religion.
I mean, statistically speaking, like it's at all-time lows, you know, and I just want to get your take because I'm also one that left the church. Now I found something else, but that doesn't negate the fact that I do remember my exact emotions and feelings when I parted from organized church. So what's your experience like?
So I'd say it has a lot to do with a lot of different things. There's tons of reasons these days why people are leaving organized religion. That's because well, we have a lot more science now, right? People are starting to think, oh, well, everything can be explained. That's one avenue. Another is that a lot of religions lately have had to backpedal. I've seen it in the Mormon church. I've seen it in the Catholic church, and people see it in their own religions.
Like they're switching up.
There's a lot of,
like recently,
backpedaling going on.
Recently, like the Catholic church was like before, like the Bible's saying, yo, God's not really digging this whole gay shit. But then now the Pope is like, yo, we kind of like, we're cool with that now.
We're cool
it's
with
like
the
the Bible's like, are you sure about that? And then the Pope like, yo, I'd baptize an alien. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought y'all said we were like the only ones out here not that long ago. So yeah, it is weird because we're taking back things that we used to say.
And I think it also has to do a lot with some political stuff, because I knew a whole bunch of friends and acquaintances and just people that I knew that left church because the whole LGBT thing. They were supporters and they thought that it was wrong that the church was
like,
not
how can I
accepting
play
things.
like both sides?
You can't play both sides, right? And so that caused a lot of dissension among people. But I think the biggest reason that young people in particular are leaving is because of this analogy that I heard one time. It's a great way to explain it. It's the language analogy, if you've ever heard it. It's a natural language dies at the third generation. So the native speaker comes to America speaking the language, their children learn it and they learn English. But then the grandchildren only know English, right?
Damn.
And so what we have happening here is that years and years ago, tons of our grandparents and parents were converts to the church. They were the first generation.
And it was strong. It was at its strongest.
Very strong. And now we've got our second generation, the hybrid, that's like, okay, this religion is great and I believe it, but there's also other things and I lead my life a different way than solely off this religion. And then the third generation comes out thinking, well, what the hell am I going to church for? You know what I mean? And that can be a good thing and a bad thing. And I would just say to all those people out there questioning what they should do with themselves, I'm in the same spot. So I would just say take a lot of time pondering your own thoughts before you make any big decisions, and just try your best. That's all you can do.
I think I am only speculating, no clue. But if I had to guess, and I'm only basing it off of my personal experience, I feel like the main reasons why young people are leaving church more than ever is, one, they were like kind of forced into it in the beginning. So that kind of like put it off in general, right? Then I know for me, I hated to go because I felt like there was so much fake shit in there. Like there was so many people who were just going in there for appearances and to look good, but I knew them outside of the streets and they were two different people. Now I'm not saying that there's not room for like sin and stuff like that. Like, duh, of course. But I'm just saying, like, there was like real issues within the church. You know, like kids are getting molested out here in these streets. Like, there's adultery within like the church of itself. So it's just kind of like, I feel like a big reason why young people are leaving church now is because the leaders, quote unquote, of the churches aren't keeping it a buck with their congregation. And then so if you're young and you feel like you can't go to this leader, you're going to go to your friends. You're going to go to your peers, right? Because at least they have answers. You know what I'm saying? And then also in my church, it felt like they had all the answers, but a lot of their answers, like there was no room for like, I don't know. Like there was always an answer, quote unquote, but it never was a very good answer. You know what I'm saying?
To those hard questions. Yeah.
To those hard questions. And I think I would have respected it a lot more if it was like, you know what, man?
We're not sure.
It's a mystery, bro.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. I'd be more satisfied with that than like hearing like 5 different answers.
Then like
from
we know
different...
everything. It would be different if it's like, here's the things we know. Everything outside, it's a mystery. Like who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I also think the forcing has a lot to do with it. Like a lot of parents make their kids go to church. I mean, I had to go to church every Sunday, and did I hate it? Sometimes, but do I regret it? Not really, but I mean, that had a lot to do with why I was skeptical about things because of the lack of choice. And I mean, that's what religion is, right? It's a choice. You choose to believe, choose to go to church, choose to have faith. And when you take the choice out of it, it's like really unappealing.
Yeah, because isn't the whole point of our creation free will?
Yeah, exactly, right?
So
ironically,
why are you impeding on my free will, homie? I'm sleeping in this Sunday. I feel that. And also, like, I'm going to bring up a point that you made before, because I think this is a super big point of why a lot of people are leaving church more than ever, is because humans are geared to conform, right? Like, duh, we like to be liked and we don't want to be left outside. So what happens is if you have certain movements that contradict what your faith does, it kind of puts you at odds. And you don't want to be left out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've met a lot of people who, you know, I think that they conformed or pretended like they didn't have faith for the sake of their environment. And it took a really big toll on them. And I know that was like the same thing for me. Like, I went from being a strong believer and then I left church because I lost my faith, because I was influenced so much. And then when I was in these situations, it hurt me more than like my peers. So if like my friends were getting drunk and stuff like that, or we were just like sleeping around or whatever, for them, it was no big deal because they didn't grow up like that, like with that sense of conviction. But then when I partook in anything, it would really hurt me a lot, but I just never told anybody because it's not a cool message, right? The cooler thing to say is like, bro, fuck it. Like, just do what you want, you know?
Right.
Why worry?
Yeah, exactly. You know? I think that that does have a lot to do with what's going on right now. Religion has just become kind of like unpopular to a degree in the media. Like, people slander religion and people hate on it, and like, I don't know, even within religion, like, people have animosity and hate towards each other, and I think that that's causing, you know, less religious happenings, you know what I mean?
Like I just wish that people would give the same respect for like people's preferences when it comes to like religion, the same way that you would in today's modern like sexual orientation environments. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should give the same amount of respect because those are like constitutional things. Those are things that I don't really feel like it shouldn't be okay to just openly just like bash somebody because of their religion, even if I don't agree with it.
Exactly.
You understand? Like, I don't have to agree with you, but I'm also not going to come across the scene and make you feel smaller just because you're religious.
And I think that what that has to do with it is that we treat like religion as a defining characteristic. Like, people find out that you're Christian or find out that you're Muslim or find out that whatever religion you are, and they're like, oh, well, that's who you are. No, it's not. It's a part of your character,
Yeah.
But it's not your defining characteristic, right? Like, we should just view each other as people, and some people believe in religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like, for instance, when I converted to Islam while I was still in the army, there was definitely an energy switch. I'm not gonna lie, and I have plenty of stories about weird things that happened after the fact while I was in the army. But it was just weird because I didn't change. You know what I'm saying?
You're still the same you.
I am still the same me. You know what I'm saying? And like, just because things that I believe in, that you do you know what I'm saying, over here, I'm not perfect, but just because we have differences doesn't mean we can't cohabitate in the same environment. You understand? Like, just because I'm Muslim, does that mean you can't have a freaking pepperoni pizza next to me? Like, if you order some pizza and I have to pick the pepperoni off, like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna freaking like go crazy. You don't have to make it awkward. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Can I eat this around you? Are you putting it into my body?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be like if you were by someone that had a peanut allergy and you were worried that they would get upset if you had a peanut butter jelly sandwich. No, just don't offer them the peanut butter jelly sandwich, because you know what the answer is. No.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like if a vegan was next to you, are you gonna not eat that cheeseburger?
Yeah.
You're gonna eat that cheeseburger.
And hopefully they're an understanding vegan, and they're not gonna hate on you for eating that cheeseburger.
Hopefully not.
But you just don't rub it in their face. You know what I mean? Like,
you want a bite?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. But yeah, dude. I feel like a lot of us have gone through a lot of the same things when it comes to church. Like, a lot of us are running around like lying about that part of us that are just kind of like, yeah, we're like all these childrens that are like escapees, refugees that just left and was just like, oh, I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. But I don't think that it's something that you should be ashamed of. If you have those like upbringings and stuff like that, I don't think that you should just be completely like, oh, I'm a whole different person now. Like, that didn't exist, because it helped you to become you. I mean, think about it. Like, if you were there for that long going to church, you think that had nothing to do with who you are now? It's a part of you
at that point. Like, what you spend your time doing becomes who you are, right? So there's nothing to be ashamed of, especially if you didn't have a choice in it, or even if you did. Like, there's no shame.
Because there's takeaways, right? Yeah. Like, when somebody were to be like, you really think this happened? You know, if it's in the Bible and stuff like that. I'm like, whether it happened or not, it's like, really, if it literally happened or if it metaphorically happened, does it change the message either way? You know what I'm saying?
Like, I don't care if Noah really did, you know, get in a big ark and save all the animals. I do care about giving public service. Yeah. And I do care about helping my fellow man. Yeah. And I do care about doing my best. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And most importantly, don't mess around on a rainy day when God's mad.
Yeah.
We're doing a survey around the country on the way population handles themselves and speaks and deals with their friends and interacts with their peers.